What advice about leadership would you give to your younger self if you could go back?
So I stand before you wearing many hats. I think one of the most important one is that I'm a woman first, so that's important. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, yes, I'm the CEO of one of the largest non-profit organizations dealing with older people in Durban, and I'm also a Common Age board member, which is the only accredited Commonwealth organization dealing with aging. So quite a lot of things. But I go back to my younger self and I think about my journey through leadership. And what would I say to myself? There's two important things. One is to embrace the fear. I think growing up, leadership was very scary. When you think about leading and you think about all the responsibilities that a leader has, it can be overwhelming and it can actually paralyze you from doing all the things you want to do. So my first thing is, to myself, embrace the fear. And this fear comes from, firstly, being afraid that you are incomplete. And this comes from this narrative that you are supposed to be all things to all people all the time. And you're only a good leader if you know all the things that you need to do. And you're only a good leader if you can access all the resources that you need to access. And we have this absolute fear that we're going to be found out, because sometimes we wing it. We don't know. We don't know how this is going to play out. So the first thing is to embrace that fear. And for things that you don't know, you will meet amazing people along your journey that will help you and that will show you and that will guide you and give you advice. So that's the first thing, embrace that fear. The second thing that I would say to my younger self, and this is very personal, is to embrace your narrative. So I'm of Indian origin. I'm from South Africa. So I grew up in apartheid South Africa. I know poverty. Growing up, not knowing where your next meal was going to come from, being embarrassed because you don't have a jersey to go to school. That's real for me. That's what I know. And I think as a leader for a long time, you don't embrace that. You feel fearful of it. You feel that people will judge you because of where you come from. But your narrative, in terms of where you come from, does not define where you are going. And I think that's so important. So that's something that I would say to my younger self. Embrace that narrative. Yes, I grew up in apartheid South Africa. We grew up in the Indian part, which was essentially a reservation for people of Indian origin. And so we grew up with an understanding that these are the parameters in terms of what you can achieve. These are the professions you must go into, and these are the things that you need to do, because we were socialized into believing that you have to conform. You have to do what is expected of you. But you break the barriers and you do what you need to do. I would say to my younger self, you will find the most amazing fulfillment working with older people. Now, that's not a narrative that was there when I was growing up. Working with older people was not sexy. You work with younger people, you work with animals. Those were the sexy professions. But working with older people, no. But I have found the most amazing fulfillment working in this field. And I would say to my younger self, take that, embrace all of that, because you will change the world. Thank you very much.